another episode from the series of Insights Malta Ghana that together with my colleague Dr. Roberta Lepre and our resident guest Mr. Christopher Buzutil-Delbridge, we would like to welcome our guests today, Dr. Asare, who is the CEO at the Ghana Export Promotion Authority, and Mr. Anton Buttigieg, the CEO of Trade Malta, with whom we are going to discuss trade between both respective countries. Welcome, Dr. Asare. Welcome, Mr. Anton Buttigieg.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for joining us today. We're very honored to have you on our program. So we would like to start a little bit. We both know that both countries are going through, obviously, the pandemic, COVID. We're still not out of the woods yet. Not only Malta and Ghana, but the rest of the world. And obviously, we're going through challenges on behalf, businesses are going through various challenges, as well as opportunities, however. So perhaps we can start by mentioning the challenges that exporters are facing in both respective countries. Perhaps, Dr. Asare, you would like to start?
Good morning once again. It's morning in Ghana, and I'm so privileged to be part of this discussion. You know that this whole COVID situation is not just a health issue, but an economic issue as well. And we are looking at it as such in our part of the woods here. So it has been very stressful for our exporters because they cannot even go about their normal duties, as everybody is aware that we were quarantined for a bit. But when we came out, GEPA decided, and GEPA, I want to tell you about GEPA before we even delve into the question. GEPA is the mandated organization by government. It's a government agency under the Ministry of Trade and Industry that is in charge of facilitating exports, non-traditional exports in Ghana. So what did we do with our exporters during this COVID era, which was very challenging? Exporters couldn't do what they do best. They couldn't go to trade shows, they couldn't export, they couldn't come out and do their businesses and all of that. It was a big challenge, and it has affected the economy. It has affected even our progress as an organization, because we depend mostly on import levies to push exports. And there was no imports coming in as we expected, so it's affecting the interventions that we plan to do this year in support of exports. So it's been quite challenging.
Thank you very much, Dr. Asare, for that. And Anton, perhaps you would like to share with the audience the Malta side now of things.
Sure.
Part of the value chain was affected from our side.
First of all, thank you for organizing this. It's always a great pleasure to meet our Ghanaian counterparts. It also reaffirms, our growing and strong partnership that we have together. As an agency here in Malta, we are obviously responsible, have same responsibilities as GEPA, where we promote Malta-based companies to export. I must stress that the challenges for exporters have not been created by COVID. Prior to COVID, we were already seeing a severe challenge to the international trade regime, as we know it. What COVID has brought about further uncertainty to businesses, which is, I think, one of the main, enemies of businesses, uncertainty. And on top of that, I think a further acceleration of protectionism and, again, an attack on the current international trade regime. Small island, very open economy. All these things put together definitely do not help our exporters. On top of that, you also need to add difficulties where we've had countries blocking exports of other countries or imports from originating countries, and increasing cost in transportation, whether it's good, whether it's other freight, And all this uncertainty is unfortunately putting a lot of pressure on local exporters. The main obviously issue here is what are going in the coming months, what's in store for us. It's very difficult. We are in a very crucial period where it's very difficult for businesses to predict what's going to happen in the next 2-3 months. And going forward into 2021, what is going to business look like in the next year?
Did the pandemic create any opportunities, Anton and Dr. Asare, from your view, from your point of view as well, apart from the challenges?
Yes, I would say so. It created some new opportunities. For instance, we are on the path of industrialization, and I was glad to notice that when this pandemic started and we couldn't import some of the things that we would normally import, industrialists and other organizations that manufacture certain produce quickly switched to producing some of the things that we would need to combat some of the effects of the COVID, like our mask and hand sanitizers and soap and all of that. Suddenly there was an eruption of people manufacturing all of these products, and it was very refreshing. And then we realized also that we are taking our hygiene more seriously now, where we had taken it for granted. So many opportunities came out of this, and I'm always saying that there was a silver lining in this dark cloud, and people took advantage of it. Yes.
Mm-hmm. I may add a comment.
Of course.
It's very interesting to hear this from both sides of the organization. I can say how we lived it from inside a company that's been affected by COVID, and that's also sitting in between Malta and Ghana. We are based in Malta as a company, and we are working with industrializing companies. So we support them. And what happened to us is, with all the variables that Anton was mentioning, we needed to start reducing the variables in order to take effective business decisions. So the first thing we said is, okay, let us say that this is going to be here forever. With that mindset, we set out how would we work? Because definitely every business is built on relationships. We cannot travel. So how do we meet our counterparts? Well, I agree with Dr. Asare that the opportunities brought about were through a catalytic effect that COVID created. And I'm very proud to say that in these days, we are actually working on our first joint tender with the Ghanaian company and in collaboration, because this is the future. We are here, they are there, they cannot come here, we cannot go there. So we need to communicate and we need to coordinate to have boots, feet, ears, eyes on the ground in Malta and in Ghana. And that is how we are trying and effectively managing to reduce the variables and still operate and create opportunities for us. The costs are lower. So that is one opportunity to be even more competitive, because you don't need to travel. What do you do with those extra profits? You can pump them into your digital presence, which is much more needed nowadays. But more of that later, maybe.
It's great to hear some insights which are on such a positive note, Chris. However, one can't ignore the fact that, as also Mr. Buttigieg mentioned, there are challenges that also precede COVID. In fact, I'm aware that both countries, both Malta and Ghana, have some specific challenges when it comes to their financial services industry, in particular, some banking practices, which might, to a certain extent, create more hurdles for businesses to set up and operate in each respective country. So maybe we can touch upon that a little bit, and maybe we can hear a little bit about what's being done in this regard.
Sure. When it comes to payment, again, this is a problem that precedes COVID. We're a small country with a fairly limited amount of banking opportunities, despite having a global bank like HSBC here in Malta and even local bank. But it has the corresponding banking issue for us as a country has been a problem, and I'm sure that Chris, along with other businesses, have been experiencing this. Positively, however, I know that a good number of Maltese companies are already doing work in Ghana with their Ghanaian partners, and they have no issues whatsoever in receiving payments from Ghana to Malta. The problem that we're experiencing mostly now is sending payments from Malta to Ghana, and it's not a secret that the government has been trying to attract new banks to the island. From our end, we're also trying to help financial institutions to enter into new arrangements for correspondent banking agreements. It's not an easy. It's not an easy. There's no easy solution, unfortunately. But I think from that end, we as a country are in a more disadvantageous position than in Ghana. And I think that this has to be addressed swiftly, especially with the continental trade agreement that is coming up in Africa. If we want to trade with Africa, we need to have a solid financial infrastructure behind us that does not hinder our entrepreneurs and make it difficult for them to do partnerships with not only with Ghanaian partners, although they are our preferred partners in this case. But down the road, we need to find a solution for that.
Absolutely.
It's not an easy task because one needs to strike a balance, obviously, between efficiency and also having the right checks in place. Dr. Asare, I don't know if you would perhaps share your views on this matter.
As Anton said, I don't think we are having issues with that. I have not heard of any issues with that coming up between Malta and Ghana since we started doing business with Malta. Any issues that will arise, I think we would look at it dispassionately and address it.
Chris, from someone who's operating.
I must agree with Anton on my part. I think it's a local issue more than anything. So local being Malta. We have encountered this, we still encounter this. And I think that the solution will not lie in Malta because we need the solution now. So the solution is, once more, the partnership agreement with companies in Ghana that maybe, ironically, have access to better finance than we do.
Interesting enough. Now, going forward, I think, Mr. Buttigieg, the fact that we have, and Dr. Asare, we've been working on this relationship, on this partnership between Malta and Ghana, not from the start of the pandemic, but even before. We had trade missions, we organized not only one trade mission, but even I think two at least, yes. There are trade agreements in place, there are plans in place. So obviously this is a very good start, and that's what we would like to continue, even us for sure as a country, because the commitment is there. But perhaps we can elaborate a little bit more. What has been done to date, and going forward, despite the challenges that we're facing and both countries are facing, how are we going to invest more in this relationship so that we assist and act as a vehicle for both businesses in both countries?
We were very excited when we signed about 5 multi-sectoral MOUs with Malta. Really, it sent a very strong signal to other countries in Europe that we and very ready to do business with Malta and make Ghana the gateway to Africa for Malta. During the second Ghana-Malta Business Forum, which was even held in Accra, the minister, Mr. Silvio Shembri, said that Malta has placed Ghana at the top of its list for new efforts in furthering the trade with the African continent, and this made us so proud. So in furtherance to that, we at GEPA, and I can also say that for GIPC, Ghana Investment Promotion Center, and all the other actors in the trade ecosystem in Ghana, we're supposed to work closely with Malta to make this materialize, to help foster that kind of relationship through trade and all of that. I don't like saying that because of the COVID, but it has really played a major part in how things have slowed down, because we were so eager. I was eager to talk to Anton about how we were going to make this happen, practicalize it, operationalize it, bring Ghana to Malta, bring Malta to Ghana in practical terms. And somehow this whole situation stalled it. But I believe that the situation is going to be forever. As my colleague from Evolve talked about, this is a normal thing that you assume that that's how it's going to be. How are we going to work around this situation and make it happen? So for me, this is even this talk, this conversation we are having is the beginning of making that work, operationalizing everything that we've been talking about, all these MOUs that we've been signing and all of that. It should end somewhere and operations should start now. For me, this is the beginning of it. So I hope that the conversation will continue between Anton and I about how we are going to circumvent or work with the situation as it is and make it happen.
Yes, if I may add on top of that, I think both governments have worked swiftly in a very short period of time, in 3 years.
Yeah.
Ghana has a High Commission in Malta. Malta has opened its first Sub-Saharan High Commission in Accra. There are a number of agreements, amongst which also a double taxation agreement, which again is pretty much ready, but due to COVID has not been ratified yet on the Ghanaian side, but I'm sure it's on the urgent list of once things go back to some normality. So we have worked on the background. I think there's the infrastructure in place. Both high commissioners are very approachable. They can help businesses to do the initial contact, initial introductions here in Malta during the period where travel is limited. And I think this is an important period where I urge businesses to contact both high commissions so that they reach on their behalf partners on the ground. And the officials in the High Commission can do at least some preparatory work so that hopefully when things normalize and we can restart traveling, hopefully coming again to Ghana with another business delegation, it's a continuation of a conversation that has already started. So I think we need to use this time to get homework, to start doing the homework, and then formalize everything when things hopefully become more predictable.
What is the general feeling, Mr. Buttigieg, amongst those who were originally interested in exploring opportunities in Ghana and whose plans have now been stalled? Are they still eager to explore that, or is it difficult to sustain the interest now?
It's a good question.
Okay.
Go ahead, Dr. Asare.
So Anton, go ahead.
No, please.
I would say that it hasn't been difficult to sustain the interest. It hasn't been difficult. Most of our businesses are really looking forward to working with Malta. And we stay in touch with them and we give them, we let them know that we are still on course. Nothing has been derailed. It's just a glitch in everything. But so we try to keep the momentum and the interest.
Chris, are you communicating?
I could also say that this COVID situation.
Roberta, can you repeat?
Sorry,
please?
I think we have some connectivity issues. Apologies for interrupting. I was just wondering whether you are in contact with perhaps some peers who, like your company, were interested in exploring opportunities in Ghana, and do they feel that with the digital tools available to them, can they still pursue those plans?
Some do, some don't. I am in touch with most of them. Some have seen this as an opportunity, maybe one of them, because less competition. So, and some, just give up, and I think they weren't mentally prepared in the first place, and they just wait, or it wasn't the right time for their company. Everyone has his own decisions to make. But whatever I can say is that all the support that I have requested, Trade Malta are helping us in this program, thanks to Anton. This was one of the ways, and I was extremely happy, and I'm sure that you, Roberta, and Nadia are happy like me as well, to hear Dr. Asare say how grateful she is for this type of program to kick off again the good work that has been done. Off camera, Anton was also saying that another time that this is a great opportunity and a great platform for businesses and business people and authorities to come together. However, on my part, yes, Trade Malta, the High Commissioner himself. So I've been finding all the support we need. Opportunities aren't lacking. It is really from the part of a Maltese business, Ghana is a land of opportunity for us, okay? I'm sure that if Ghana is seeing itself, and it is, the gateway to Africa, we see ourselves as a gateway to Europe. So for Africans and for Ghanaians, this would be also a great opportunity. So yeah, it is. And I encourage everyone to take this extremely seriously, the support we've been having even for this program. Dr. Asare is here, she's giving us her time. Our CEO from Trade Malta is here, he's giving us his time. And we had and will have other distinguished guests on this program. So definitely, if that is not proof of the goodwill and the opportunities that lie ahead, what is?
Very interesting indeed, Chris. I believe as well, we had a lot of response, even from our side, when we came up with this idea together with Robert and yourself. For businesses, we found a lot of support, as you mentioned, both from the High Commissioners as well as from the authorities on both sides. And indeed, it might seem that COVID is a little bit of a deterrent in the sense that, because obviously we can't be physically there, we can't physically meet our businesses. And business development, we all know that it takes time. It takes time to nurture relationships, it takes time to build trust. So let us not lose that momentum, which we have already started, because there's a good opportunity, there's a good platform, it will enable us to create greater things in the coming months and in the coming future.
In fact, Nadia, I would say it's a fantastic opportunity for those that are hit by COVID, because it gives them the opportunity also to explore new ideas, new markets. So perhaps it could also be a solution to the challenges that some businesses could be facing locally. So.
Indeed, especially when it comes to demand, to consumer changes, consumer behavior. So obviously looking at other opportunities, other markets could also be beneficial for both parties. Is there anything else which you would like to add and share with our audience as a closing remark, Dr. Asare and Mr. Buttigieg, as well as yourself, Chris?
You go.
From my part, what I can say is that this has been a planned relationship in the sense we had done our homework and we were looking for a partner, a strategic partner in West Africa. And all the market research and all the research we were doing were pointing us in one direction, which was Ghana. A lot of things which fell into place. We have common governance structures within government, within also the private sector. Once we went on the ground, all the research we had done practically proved correct. A Maltese business, a European business that wants to set up shop in Ghana, it's relatively straightforward. You will find also very good partners to do business with. And it's also an excellent launching pad if down the line you want to look at other possibilities, countries within the region, which for us are more challenging because of language barriers or cultural issues. I think having a right partner in Ghana will give you the opportunity and possibility of exploring other business opportunities within the region. Over these past 3 years, we've had numerous requests from Maltese entrepreneurs wanting to know more about Ghana and do business in Ghana. And I think so far we've done good progress. I think there's still much more to do, but I think this relationship is still at its early stages, but however, very promising. And as I said many times before, we'd like to see more Ghanaians coming to Malta with their ideas. We're also a very good launching pad into the European Union, into the northern parts of Africa, and we'd be very happy to make the necessary introductions privately at government level to these institutions, whatever they are, private or governmental, so that we can share also our experiences and help these companies grow. It's within our remit. And I think with the right effort, we can take this relationship much forward.
Thank you.
And I would like to say that I'm so excited about this whole conversation, and I will urge Malta to take advantage of the African Continental Free Trade Area Commercial Hub, which is now in Accra. So that makes Accra the commercial hub of Africa. And so when you are in Ghana, you are literally in Africa, you are in the middle of Africa. Not only in the middle of Africa, but in the middle of the world. Ghana is in the middle of the world. So we can touch base with everybody. And it makes it even easy to touch base with Malta. I understand that if there's a direct flight from Malta to Ghana, it will be just 4 hours. So very soon, I'm looking forward to us having an international, flight that goes directly to Malta to ease it for our two business people to be able to meet easily. Ghana is positioned, as I said, in the center of the world, where is the best place to do business than in the center of the world. So we have skilled and young workforce. We try to make it very easy to do business in this country. I'm looking forward to this relationship. I'm looking forward to it growing. I have a very strong feeling that the relationship we have with Malta is going to grow beyond bounds. For some reason, when we came to Malta, that's how we felt. And when there was a reciprocal visit to Ghana, that's what I sensed in most of the people who met with the Maltese Business Group. So I'm so looking forward to us doing business together and the help that we can give each other going forward.
Thank you very much, Dr. Asabea. Thank you. Thank you very much. Chris, would you like to add anything or
as a business,
any other comments as a business?
I have one appeal. If you haven't started, start. Talk to DEPA, talk to Trade Malta. If you have started, intensify. If you're there and established, you don't need me. So good luck.
I want to say one last thing.
Of course.
Your ambassador in Ghana is one of the best. I mean, he keeps us on our toes. And I think it's the reason why this conversation is even, we haven't forgotten that, but he cannot let us forget about Malta. He's in our business. He is more a Ghanaian than a Maltese, I can tell you.
Very true.
Yes, so I'm very happy about that.
Very true.
Indeed. He was the one assisting myself, Roberta, as well as Chris in organizing all these episodes, the series. He's very active. He's also part of our series and our episodes. With the High Commissioner of Ghana and Malta as well, Her Excellency Mercy Bampo.
And half Maltese.
Yes, indeed. So on this note, we thank you very much for your time. We thank you for being with us. We're very much looking forward to have many more of these episodes and insights. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us this afternoon.
There are challenges that also precede COVID.
Businesses that do not adapt to changing situation, they fold up.
Ghana always offers opportunity to the outside world.